you by the Jeep Grand Cherokee. From the Century Link Center in Omaha, Nebraska, it's Big East basketball. College hoops on FS1 with the number 12 team in the nation, the Creighton Bluejays, entertaining the Loyola of Maryland Greyhounds. Hi, everybody. Steve Physiak, Nick Baugh with you. Creighton coming off a Paradise Jam victory. And why are they off to such a great start, Nick?
Look, Creighton's a team that's built to beat you with pace and from the three-point line. And they have excelled in both those areas. They're shooting 51% from three. That leads the nation. And then the catalyst to the pace, Maurice Watson Jr., leads the nation in assists. So Creighton's been just an offensive buzzsaw so far through 5 games. Just a great start for the Blue Jays.
All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Andre Walker is a terrific point guard for the Greyhounds, and James Fives averaging 26 minutes per game as a sophomore, playing very well. Foster, Watson, Thomas, that's a great backcourt. Huff and Patton on that front line for Creighton. And you love the development of this redshirt freshman, Patton, who is 7 feet tall, very athletic.
Just gives Creighton a totally different look in the pick and rolls. They have a lot of pick and pop options with Cole Huff and Toby Hegner. Patton's the one guy that can roll to the basket and give you some different aerial attacks above the rim with some lobs. He is just giving Creighton a totally different look offensively.
And because of his leaping ability, he controls the tap. And this is Maurice Watson, who leads the nation in assists at 9.2 per game. Their leading scorer is Marcus Foster at 18 per game. Pat with a nice move inside for his first 2 points. He's been averaging 10.5 points per game as a redshirt freshman.
McDermott likes to script the first couple offensive possessions, wanted to get Patton a touch. He's a guy that doesn't do a lot of work with his back to the basket, but look comfortable there.
Loyola at 2-3 this year. Their victory on Wednesday was their biggest win of the year, beating previously unbeaten Fairfield 81-66. And Kosteka with the jumper to tie the game.
Kosteka, really confident, aggressive freshman that hasn't shot it great, but is really aggressive to shoot the ball.
Cole Huff. That ball may have been partially tipped. It goes out of bounds, and apparently it was not. It will be Loyola basketball.
When you take a look at Patton, again, a guy who does most of his damage on lobs and kind of dump downs there. Good footwork to not travel. Get to his left shoulder for the jump hook.
Creighton, good defensive team. They're known for their offense. But they are 5-0 against 4 victories against teams from power conferences. Left-hand layup will not go, and it goes out of bounds. It belongs to Loyola. And there is Greg McDermott in his 7th year, 146 wins. He's done a terrific job with this group of young men.
He's really reinvented himself here at Creighton. He was more of a slow the game kind of coach where he'd walk the ball down the floor. And since he's gotten to Creighton, they've really liked to push the pace.
And Huff with the steal. Now gets it to Marcus Foster. Boy, he's really, really clever with his steps and also his power drives.
And this is an area he needs to do this more often. He's only got 8 free throw attempts on the season. And I know Greg McDermott has challenged Foster on a daily basis to not settle for jump shots, attack the rim, and get to the free throw line. It's a good sign in transition. He could have settled for a 3, but instead now he's at the free throw line.
Good free throw shooter at 75%. He came into this game 35 points, shy of 1,000 in his career, which started at Kansas State. And the Loyola coach is G.G. Smith in his 4th year, son of the great Tubby Smith, who won a national championship at Kentucky.
I think Coach Smith is going to get the ball to number 21, Jared Jones, a lot today. Trail, and he's got it right there. He's a difficult matchup for Creighton because he's a versatile forward that can score at all 3 levels.
Jones at 6'6", 205. And this is Maryland on the drive, but picking it off is Watson down the floor. Kyrie Thomas, who's been shooting 70% from the floor, misses his first shot. Kostecka with the jumper, his second field goal.
Lone defensive assignment for Creighton. Didn't communicate a switch, gave Kostecka another rhythm jump shot.
I would imagine one of the Loyola keys is they have to slow Creighton down somehow.
Absolutely. You cannot get beat in transition, and you got to guard the three-point line.
Miss by Creighton. They're shooting 51%, leading the nation in three-point percentage.
And it's not just one guy. I mean, they got multiple shooters that are confident and got the green light.
Play 7 guys in double figures in the victory over Ole Miss in the championship of the Paradise Jam last weekend.
Always good. We can go in a neutral site and win a tournament, build some confidence. It's just been a confidence-boosting 7 to 10 days here for Creighton, beating Wisconsin and then winning the Paradise Jam.
And the teams they played in that Paradise Jam, Washington State out of the Pac-12, North Carolina State out of the ACC, and Ole Miss, they won in the championship game, 86-77 out of the SEC.
Good competition.
Kostecka misses his first field goal after making his first 2, and then a personal foul is committed by Loyola. Here's what they did. I mean, they scored over 100 against Washington State. They scored 112 against a team that many expect to contend for that ACC.
Just a plethora of good guards for NC State, and Creighton's a team that will welcome a track meet scoring contest with just about anybody. They just shot the ball great, and this guy right here, Maurice Watson, has just been tremendous making plays for his teammates.
He is fun to watch in the open floor. Pretty drive. Doesn't get it. And then is Martin Krompel, who's going to be playing a lot, Nick, because of the injury to Zach Hansen.
Going to have surgery on his ankle on Monday, Hansen is, and so Martin Krompel had a medical redshirt last year, so a redshirt freshman is going to be counted on to provide minutes at the backup 5 as just a youngster.
What are his skills, particularly defensively?
Well, he's long. He's an active player, and the biggest thing is they just need his physicality, because that was something that Hansen provided. And he was about the only physical presence on this Creighton team. So if you're Krompel, you just got to think about doing the physical things.
Krompel with a nice tip out to Watson. They've got a new 30-second clock. They give it back to Maurice Watson.
Quite a start for Krompel. What a pass to the post there. Good cut from Maurice Watson. That's what you want to see, is a young freshman get comfortable, because now his role is about to be expanded greatly.
And now he comes up on the defensive end with a block shot. So Creighton right now playing well the last couple of minutes. Number 12, Creighton, is one of the most dynamic offenses in college basketball, averaging 96 points per game, but a lot of it comes from outside.
That's how they're built. Their mantra as a program is let it fly. 51% leading the country in three-point shooting, and it's not just one guy, and they don't get it in just one area. They get it in transition, they get it through sets, they get it on an offensive rebound kickouts, and so they are just an electric three-point shooting team, and really everything starts from beyond the arc for Creighton.
Coming into today's game, Thomas was at 62% from three-point range. Marcus Foster, 51%. Maurice Watson, 55%. And Cole Huff, 55%. So that's pretty much sizzling.
It is amazing to... There's just no relief. There really isn't anybody who can say, well, we can dare this guy to make shots. We can play off this guy. They're just a really difficult team to guard. And then they got a point guard that's willing to get in the paint and share it.
Oh, nice little shake, and Andre Walker scores his first field goal.
Walker's a good player. He is a good little point guard that's going to have to play well here for Loyola to have a chance to pull the upset.
And that shot by Watson is partially blocked. This is actually the 4th time that Loyola has played a Maurice Watson basketball team, and the other 3 times were with Boston University.
That's significant, because Maurice Watson's one of those guys that I don't think the tape does it justice for just how fast he is with the basketball. A little bit of adjusting, and so having seen him multiple times is an advantage.
Inside the ball goes to their other top scorer, and that man Jared Jones, averaging 15 points per game. Wraps it around on the dish from Andre Walker.
I think the ball's got to go to Jones a ton this afternoon for Loyola. Creighton's already shown they're going to come with a double team, and so people got to be ready to shoot the ball.
Zierden off the bench, misses the three, so they are 0 for 4 from three-point range to start this game. What's going on?
It's kind of a surprise to see him miss it, but they're getting good looks.
Walker banks it in from three-point range.
Walker, not a great three-point shooter, but certainly willing to take threes. He's taken 23 on the season.
Toby Hegner, number 32 in the game, a 6'10 junior. And there is a personal foul committed by Von Scott, 6'7 freshman.
And the injury to Zach Hansen can't be talked about enough. I mean, it's significant. He's a senior. He was playing at a high level, injured that ankle, will have surgery on Monday. And he was Creighton's one of their more indispensable players, and it's unfortunate they're going to be without him for a couple of months.
Patton back in, looking for the pick and roll, but it is denied by the Loyola defense. And Hegner hits the first three for the Blue Jays this afternoon.
Hegner's an interesting story. I mean, he's a guy that has been a starter, but honestly, as the season began, I think he was maybe on the outside looking into the rotation, but he's just played at such a high level, and he's been shooting the ball so well that he's just demanded more minutes from Greg McDermott.
Well, he'll get them now with the injury to Zach Hansen.
And he can slide over and play Toby Hegner at the 5 a little bit, which is certainly an option.
Marcus Foster with his first field goal. Usually you'll see him take 2, 3, 4 shots by now.
Just really impressed with how confident and comfortable Foster has seemed right away in this offense. Coming off that redshirt year, oftentimes you see it take some time. He's been ready to go right from the get-go.
James Fives misses. Foster from three-point range. He'll miss. Hickman trying for the tip. The Greyhounds have it. Personal foul.
Bluejay foul number 10, Maurice Thompson.
Look at Creighton in the open floor. Foster off the deflection all the way to the basket. And he's a guy that can do that at a high level. He can go get you easy baskets in transition. He can get to the free throw line. He's just a elite scoring wing for Greg McDermott.
At 25 in their victory over Ole Miss in the Paradise Jam championship game. Walker backs away. He has the much taller Hegner defending him. And this is Provo missing. Tyler Clement into the game. And Patton will pick up the foul. He will receive it from the defense with a good inside move and then fade, and they drew the defender right into him.
And see the spin baseline wasn't there, and then the shot fake just was able to raise the defender just enough to draw the contact. And this is something Patton's going to have to provide a little bit more of that now with Hansen out, of just being a guy that you can throw the ball into the post to, and he doesn't necessarily have to score, but he's got to be able to collapse the defense, make plays, keep that defense honest.
But as a redshirt freshman, is he a guy who could get into foul difficulty?
He could, and he is really important for rim protection defensively, and so it's important that he stays on the floor, but he's just going to have to continue to bit by bit expand his offensive game.
He picked up a foul early, and Greg McDermott immediately sent him to the sideline. Creighton again, 5 wins, no losses. The biggest win over number 9 Wisconsin here in game 2 this year, and 79-67 victory. Walker misses. Foster rebounds. Marcus alley-oop. And Patton saved it. And that's the athleticism that Patton has. A 7-footer catching it, knowing he has no chance for the score and firing it to a teammate. We'll be right back. number 12 Creighton with a 2-point lead over Loyola of Maryland. And Tuesday night, the Big East College Hoops action returns to FS1. Don't miss Trayvon Blewett and Xavier battle the North Dakota State Bison. Then Cole Huff and the Rolling Bluejays take on Buffalo. The excitement tips off Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern on FS1. The Big East certainly one of the best conferences in the nation. Villanova right now number 2 in the Associated Press poll. Xavier number 9, and Creighton, of course, number 12.
Well, a lot of these preseason, or excuse me, non-conference tournaments, Creighton won one, Xavier's won one, Villanova's won one. Last night, Butler took down Arizona. So really just across the board, the league is looking as good as it's ever looked right now. Talking about the Big East Conference.
And Providence plays Virginia tonight in that Emerald Coast Classic. Here is Maurice Watson. Marcus Foster joining him in the backcourt. Foster on the drive and then loses it out of bounds. Looked like he had a good angle for a layup, but then lost it on the drive.
Creighton just a little sloppy right now. I don't know if they got a turkey hangover or what right now, but
I know somebody who does, and that's you. 2 Thanksgivings at your house, your folks' house, and your in-laws.
The in-laws. It was a lot. You know, it took. We had to take it one spoonful at a time. You know, just gave it 110%. It was something.
Yeah, you told me you tried to pace yourself.
Yeah.
Forget about that.
Can't do that.
And we have a whistle and a foul. And that is Patton's second personal foul, so he'll go to the sideline. And Martin Krompel will come back in, the redshirt freshman from Slovenia.
To the line, Fort Loyola.
Langendorfer did a good job, too, of going right at Patton's chest. You know, that's what you got to do when you're going against a shot blocker. If you try and move away from him, that's when his length comes into play.
And then he banks his first free throw. Here is Krompel. Told you a redshirt freshman out of Slovenia. Last year, he was averaging about 3 points per game, was Martin, before he had knee surgery in December and received a medical redshirt. And he grabs a rebound. He's had good time on the floor in his limited minutes to this afternoon. Alley-oop to Krompel.
And Krompel's really been playing at a high level here in just a few short minutes. Good lob from Maurice Watson, and Krompel can certainly give you that dimension, too, of the lob look on the pick and roll.
Watson almost had the steal. Wild layup try by Cam Greggy. He is denied, and then he went over the top with a personal foul.
Steve, look at the pick and roll. You got the shooter filling up so the help can't come. And so Krompel's just all by himself. And it's interesting how much the game has changed. You think of pick and rolls back in the 80s and early 90s. Stockton and Malone, it was always bounce passes, right?
Yeah.
Now they're more lobs to the rim. So the game's just changed a little bit in that regard.
Marcus Foster misses the 3, and Krompel tried to tap it to a teammate. Instead, it winds up in the hands of Provo. Nick Gorski in the game for the Greyhounds, number 1.
If you're G.G. Smith, you have to be thrilled with the start for your Loyola ball club here.
And we told you they're coming off their most impressive win of the year, a victory over previously undefeated Fairfield, and they trailed in that game by 12 points with 9 to go in the first half, and then Loyola outscored Fairfield 27 points in the next 29 minutes.
They played really sharp in that second half of the Fairfield game. Looked really good.
Gorski trying to set a screen. Walker on the drive, and is fouled.
Loyola's done a good job of just initiating the contact with their drive to the basket. So look how, going to go right at Krompel. Just initiate that contact and assure yourself a trip to the free throw line. Good play from Andre Walker.
Walker had missed just 1 free throw prior to this game. He was 14 out of 15 from the line. junior out of Westbury, New York.
Number 10, Andrew Kostecka returns.
Andrew Kostecka comes back in the ball game, the freshman out of Germantown, Maryland. Pressure applied by Walker as Watson moves across the timeline. Maurice, nice drive, could not finish. Here comes Walker looking to get the ball the other way and tie it up, but unable to slam it down is Jared Jones. Still plenty of time left of the shot clock. Walker does tie it at 15.
Always got to get good guard play when you're on the road, and Walker's off to a great start. Really, Jones is their guy, number 21 for Loyola, and he's been quiet so far. So all things considered, Loyola has to feel great about where they're at right now.
Cole Huff misses the three and then goes out of bounds with the basketball. It belongs to the Greyhounds with just under 9 minutes to play in the first half.
And number 32,
Isaiah Zierden comes back in the game, and so does Toby Hegner. I wanted to ask you about Isaiah because he led the team in minutes played last year, hit 73 pointers. Where is he in the rotation?
Oh, he's very much a factor in the rotation. I think Greg McDermott's thrilled with the fact that you can bring a guy like Zierden off the bench, who's basically a starter. I mean, in leading the minutes last year. Same thing with Hegner, who's been a starter. And that's one of the things they also loved about Hansen coming off the bench, was another starter. But Zierden's fine. Zierden's just going to do what he does, which is catch and knock down triples.
Like that, right on cue.
He's got the coach's trust. You don't have to worry about a guy like Zierden. He is comfortable. He stays confident. And guys like that you can bring off the bench that have played a lot of minutes, that are always going to be in the right spot, can score. Just a great luxury to have.
Andre Walker with the shot clock running down, but a big rebound by Chancellor Bernard. And then it's stolen. Watson will take the three and move it off to the right side. So they're just 2 of 10 from the floor from three-point range after coming in leading the NCAA Division I at 51%.
And Steve, I would say Creighton's a team that loves to take quick threes, but some of them, I think, this afternoon have been a little too quick. A little too early in the possession, where you haven't put any pressure on the defense.
Gorski is fouled as he went for the drive, and I'm not sure if he got a knee to the thigh or just hurt his knee, but Kostecka in pain. We'll be right back.
Going back to Omaha, Creighton off to a little bit of a slow start offensively, but it's always important for Creighton to get out in transition. Haven't had too many opportunities. This is one of the few instances where they've been able to rebound, outlet, and run. Zierden all the way ahead of the pack, already got his feet set, got all day to let one fly. That's how Creighton is built. Gonna have to find a way to get some easier baskets and speed this game up.
And Kostecka now limping off the floor, so they'll check him out. And he has had a solid start and will be missed for the Greyhounds. But I wanted to ask you, Nick, this is a team that's been averaging 96 points per game against some really good foes like Wisconsin, Washington State, North Carolina State, and Ole Miss, but only 18 points in the first 12.5 minutes of this one.
Yeah, I just think they haven't been taking good threes. And that's going to be the fine line you toe as a coach, where you want to tell the guys to be aggressive and have the green light from beyond the arc. But it also isn't just a license to take bad shots. I think they got to take some better three-pointers when they become available.
James Fives on the drive.
Also got to give Loyola Maryland some credit, too. They've done a good job once the game has gotten into the half court and getting some stops in. They've done a good job of just containing this high-octane offense and not letting them get too easy looks in transition.
Yeah, G.G. Smith said the last 29 minutes they played against Fairfield was the best basketball they played this year. Shot clock down to 4. I don't think they know how much time Jones does, and just barely gets it off in time. And then Kyrie Thomas with the rebound, and he'll go all the way, miss the shot, and here come the Greyhounds the other way. Fives. Grab by Provo.
I like that shot from Kyrie Thomas. In transition, thinking about going to the rim, just didn't get it to go down.
Ives has it tipped free, and Thomas slides in, and they're saying it'll be Greyhounds basketball.
Something needs to happen here, Steve, in terms of changing the complexion of the game from an energy standpoint. And oftentimes when you want a boost of energy, you go to your bench. Keep an eye on number 4 in white, Ronnie Harrell. Sophomore, hasn't played a ton, but he's long, he's active, and he can be a catalyst to change this game.
Immediately, Jared Jones goes right after him defensively and cuts the Creighton lead to 1. Hegner tried for the tap.
Watson usually makes those at a really high clip. He's already missed 2 tonight.
Jones against Harrell. There's a foul call. I'm not sure if it's against Hegner or Harrell.
Creighton's supposed to be coming with a post double team there, but this is where that injury to Zach Hansen's difficult. You got Harrell at the 4 and Hegner at the 5. Hegner's a guy that's more comfortable at the power forward spot, and Jones is just a difficult matchup. He can post up, he can face up, he can put it on the deck and get all the way to the basket. He's a handful.
Foul went against Watson, his second.
Returning to the lineup for the Blue Jays, in for Marie Swanson is number 11, Tyler Clement.
Justin Patton also with 2 fouls this afternoon. Jones for the tie, inside 6 minutes to play, and he does lock up this game at 18.
In for Jared Jones.
That's significant with Watson on the bench with 2 personal fouls. Now they'll go to Tyler Clement, who really has done a good job in limited minutes off the bench. Gave a great burst against NC State at the Paradise Jam.
Kyrie Thomas, pretty moved, does not finish, and that's the struggle they've had early in this game, the fact that they're making nice moves to the basket but unable to finish.
Loyola's done a good job of just contesting shots. Pretty good defense there from Harriet on Kyrie Thomas to just make the little 10-footer difficult.
And a blocking foul will be called against the Blue Jays. It almost seems like there is what you talked about, whether it's a Thanksgiving hangover or going off to the Virgin Islands, playing 3 really solid teams and coming back a little tired, maybe lack of focus.
Yeah, they just haven't had a lot of pop, a lot of energy. And they're a team that it takes a lot of energy to play the style that they play. But I've been impressed with Loyola's just come in and really ran their offense at a high clip, and they're just comfortable there. I mean, that was just a nice empty side. It's either going to be a handoff or a back door. Good read from Walker. Goes back door, gets to the free throw line. Loyola has just settled in quickly into this game, especially on the offensive end.
Andre Walker with 10 points already. Was a Patriot League second team member last year, averaging over 14 points per game, and this year 12.5. Marcus Foster on the drive.
Yes. Oh, good job recognizing no help defense. Rip and go baseline. That's where you want to see Foster, understanding that Watson's on the bench with 2 personal fouls. Foster's got to become the playmaker.
Walker with a nice move, but short with his shot. Marcus Foster with the fade. And a timeout is called by G.G. Smith of Loyola. Foster beginning to be a little more aggressive. We'll be right back.
Bluejays fans time to look at
Every team needs a go-to guy. When you're in trouble, he just has that electricity to score.
And that's Marcus Foster with Maurice Watson on the bench with 2 personal fouls. You see a little bit of his game there going to the basket, and then that's, unfortunately, that's his favorite shot. A step back little 19-footer can drive Greg McDermott crazy, but he makes it at a pretty high percentage. So back-to-back baskets. I think it was a good timeout from G.G. Smith. I think you could sense a run coming.
The officials checked it at the break and discovered it was a 2 and not a 3. So Foster now is 7 points, and Creighton's lead is 22-20. You know, the other thing I really like, Nick, is when Tyler Clement came in, his only understanding is to get the offense running properly.
Yeah, he just executes. He doesn't try and do too much. He just takes what the defense gives him, gets the guys in the right spots. And he's done a good job.
And it almost seemed like we were at a point in the game with Watson, who had forced the action a little bit. They needed to run some offense just to get the rhythm back.
That's a great point. And sometimes when things aren't coming overly easy in transition, you do need to start to execute in the half court, and Clement's good in that area.
Well, I think Mr. Foster's beginning to heat up, and that definitely was a 3.
No doubt about it. But how about you've seen everything all the way to the basket. You saw the step back, and then they're off the bounce from beyond the arc. He can just score in a lot of different ways.
And the other Blue Jays may recognize that Foster's got the hot hand and go back to him. Meantime, Jones misses the 3. Clement looking. He's got Foster as the trailer left side.
So Foster doesn't need to shot hunt. Trust that the game will come to him. He can take the right one.
Yeah, Cole Huff came in shooting like 70%.
Huff had microfracture surgery, Steve. It looks to me like he just doesn't have the same pop in his legs today, and it can be kind of hit and miss with his knee from day to day.
Yeah, during the summer, he was on crutches for 2.5 months. So Greg really being cautious with his outstanding senior from California. Walker with the step back, but we have an offensive foul.
Push off on Clement.
Substitution for the Greyhounds, number 41, Ian Langendorf.
Feels like an important 2:44 for Loyola, as Foster's now kind of got it going a little bit. You want to make sure that you get to half. You've played at a high level, and you're in this game. You want to finish the half strong. And you think right now Greg McDermott's probably going to dial some up for Foster going to the rim.
Nice move, but then the good steal by Jones, and Jared comes the other way, and it's blocked by Krompel, who's had a terrific first half.
What a play, what an effort.
And Jones steals it back. This time, Chancellor Bernard does not miss.
What effort from Jones, who was on his keister on the other end to sprint all the way down and make the steal and then get the assist to Bernard.
Now 7 in the shot clock. Foster open, drives, and bumped at the end. Or that could have been a 3-point play, but he'll be limping to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Look at this effort from Krompel. That's twice he's gone up and contested dunks from Jones. But then a good job by Jones to get the steal and look ahead to Bernard. Pretty good sequence there for Loyola to end up with 2.
But for Krompel, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block.
And he has to think about those types of plays being his identity as a player. Effort, energy, physicality. Don't think about scoring. Think about doing all the other things. And then his minutes will continue to increase with Hanson's injury.
And Greg, who is a terrific player at Northern Iowa and a big man and a big scorer, he's always talking to the bigs as they come up for what they did wrong, what they did right.
What I like about him is he instills confidence in his players. Even when things aren't going well, he's always going to be talking positive reinforcement with you, and that's important. If you aren't feeling good as a player, you're not going to play at a high level.
Jump shot misses by James Fives. Creighton basketball leading by 5 with just a minute and a half to go.
Number 35, Chancellor Bernard. His second.
Pretty good block out from Hegner.
And fans coming up at halftime. It's brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Mike Hill, Steve Lavin, and Jim Jackson will preview tonight's Marquette game on FS2, and Nick and I will have the first half highlights and stats.
An area that Creighton is a little bit vulnerable at times and a little bit susceptible is teams that pound the offensive glass. And with Hanson's absence, I think teams are going to even try to attack that more. And so someone like Hegner is going to have to rebound.
Greyhounds hanging around, only trailing by 5 against the number 12 team in the nation. And there's a steal, but then a foul. First foul on Marcus Foster.
Take a look at it. Looked like he got it clean.
He knew it too.
He didn't like it.
Tim Clarity, Paul Selk, and Mike Nance are 3 officials this afternoon in Omaha. Well, with the rebound, Clement has done a nice job in his limited minutes as point guard in the first half. Gets it into the corner, and Kyrie Thomas drains a 3, and Creighton has their biggest lead of 8 points.
Clement's come in and just been solid. Another good read, good look, getting it to Kyrie Thomas.
Jones, nice move, then tied up by Harrell. And a foul will be called. It's on Tyler Clement, who was trying to double him down low.
That can't happen. When you're coming with a post double team with Hegner, and then there were other white jerseys there, you can't allow Jones to be able to even get a shot up to the rim and draw a foul. So look at how the double team's going to come. He spins away from it, is able to split the double team. So he got in between Harrell and Hegner. That can't happen. When you're coming with a double team, trying to get the ball out of the post and not foul.
Clement to Hegner. Long with the 3. Harrell going for the save, but I think he may have stepped on the end line. So it'll be Loyola basketball.
Maybe thinking that was a quick shot, but I think Greg McDermott was thinking 2 for 1. Got the trailer 3 to Hegner. And so now Creighton will assure themselves, assuming they get a stop or and a rebound, that they'll have at least one more possession here. And if I'm G.G. Smith, I'm going right back to Jones in the post and see if they can execute the post double team and make things happen.
He's been a matchup problem for Creighton, and he does go right back to him, and he scores quite easily over the much taller defender.
He is a handful. I mean, that's a 4-man that can post up, and they're just catch and rip and go all the way to the basket. From Foster, don't settle. Don't settle. He likes to step back and get to the rim.
Well, the half ends much like Creighton played. They had some fine moves to the basket, but some poor finishes. And Greg McDermott has some things to talk about with his troops at halftime.
Got to increase that energy level, but Loyola has to be feeling great. Only down 5 on the road. Top 15 team. Your 2 studs playing well in Jones and Walker. Jared Jones, number 21. I'd get him the basketball in that mid-post area and let him drive it a little bit. Create some indecision on the defense in terms of if they're coming to double or not.
Jones and Walker combined for 18 in the first half. 10 for Walker, 8 for Jones. And it's Loyola in the dark green, Creighton in the white with the blue numerals. And there's a steal immediately by Patton, who had limited minutes because of 2 fouls in the first half. He gets the start along with Watson, Huff, Thomas, and Foster. And this is Cole Huff finally getting that jump shot on that little baby hook to go.
Count the basket by Cole Huff.
I think they got an off-ball foul on the lockout, but Huff, this really isn't his game. He's not a back-to-the-basket low-post player. He's more of a catch-and-shoot three-point shooter, but good strong base and little jump hook got it to go down.
Patton with the pull-up. He scores.
That's pretty. That's a 7-footer, one dribble pull-up jump shot. He can do a little bit of everything.
He's only taken 2 shots, made them both. Only played 8 minutes of that first half because of the foul trouble. The steal. Kyrie Thomas scores, and Creighton has their biggest lead of the afternoon by 11 points. 6 points in the first 1 minute of the second half. Better energy there.
That was it. That was just the remedy. Sometimes there are no X's and O's adjustments. It's just simply an energy adjustment. Creighton, good start to second half.
Creighton has scored 6 points in the first 67 seconds of the second half, and you talked about their energy at the break.
They needed a higher energy level, and then they needed some guys that were straddled with foul trouble to get going. Justin Patton, one of those guys with a nice jump shot. Then Kyrie Thomas, this is just playing hard in energy, getting into a passing lane and going to get an easy one in transition. So a good start for Greg McDermott's crew to start the second half.
Kyrie Thomas, who's averaging over 14 points per game, now with 5 after that steal and score.
Well, they're trying to dial up a back door, trying to alleviate some of the pressure from Creighton, coming out with a little more energy.
Walker down low to Jones. They only have 2 in the shot clock, and then a foul is called. And Greg McDermott, I can see him throw his hands to the heavens as if to say, great defense for 29 seconds, and then.
Well, you had the great double team, and then you did a poor job of taking away the one thing you have to rotate and take away, and that's a basket. You allowed an easy pass right to the rim. And that's what was so frustrating about it. Everything was executed. You played good defense, and you just don't have a simple rotation.
Loyola, a 69% foul shooting team, now 6 for 13 on the afternoon. And Jones comes up with the miss, bounces it off to Scott. Fives with the drive and basket. And that is a tough drive by the sophomore James Fives from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Good drive from Fives, and oftentimes a quick shot can be the catalyst to a break the other way. Kyrie Thomas misses a 3, and his numbers the other way. And Creighton never got quite sorted out.
By the way, Loyola's top players, Andrew Kostecka, injured his right knee. He is questionable to return. So we're hoping it's nothing serious. Boy, they missed their first 3 foul shots of the second half. Watson rather quiet offensively, just 1 of 6 from the floor and 2 points. Thomas bounce back inside Patton, who slams it down.
Beautiful look. That's Omaha to Omaha there. Patton and Kyrie Thomas. Just an empty side pick and roll, so there's no help that can come over, and Patton with the easy one.
Walker long with the shot. Knocked free. Patton gets it. How about that pass for a 7-footer? They don't make the shot go by Cole Huff. Boy, that is a 7-footer running the floor. Who can pass it?
Well, take a look. See how there's going to be no help on the pick and roll. It's all the way on the opposite side of the floor, so there's nobody in the corner that can go help. So when Patton rolls to the basket, he's all by himself on the baseline. So a good diagram play from Greg McDermott and good execution from Thomas and Patton.
Up will stay in the game, go to the right corner. On the drive, Marcus Foster strong to the hoop.
Good execution once again. Just creating a driving lane with a little basket cut for Patton. And Foster just reading and reacting.
I think Coach McDermott got their attention at the break.
Yeah. So look how Patton is going to cut right to the opposite side of the block. So he's going to cut to the opposite side. It's almost like a moving screen to just create a little driving lane for Foster to drive it with his left hand all the way to the basket. So that's back-to-back plays of pretty good stuff from Greg McDermott to create opportunities for his guys to score.
And Watson just picked up his 3rd foul of the game, so he'll leave, and Tyler Clement comes back in.
Steve, that's something that Maurice Watson's got to continue to work on. He's shown that he can be a little bit foul prone. Been in foul trouble already this season against NC State. Was in foul trouble a couple times last season.
And from the corner, Provo drains the 3. He had a big game in their win against Fairfield on Wednesday. And they're saying Clement turned it over.
They got him a foul, maybe. It's a good job to cat the little inbounds pass, and going to call Clement with a personal foul. It's a big sequence there, 'cause that's a big shot from Provo. It's a good job by Provo just to go and make things difficult, and they're going to call Clement for the foul.
And that's his 3rd foul, so Watson with 3, Clement with 3. Where do you go to a point? Would it be Zierden moving to the point?
Could be Zierden. You also could go with the freshman Davion Mintz. In a game like this, my guess is they'll go with Zierden.
Walker, nice move, then pushes it corner. Shot clock down to 8. Walker lets it fly. In and out. Good strong rebound by Ronnie Harrell. Foster to Kyrie Thomas.
Oh, is that just fast, Steve? Just from baseline to baseline, shot out of a cannon. Foster pushing it and under control to find a teammate. One of the rare times you've seen Loyola just be a little bit slow getting back in transition.
And Fives is fouled as he takes it hard to the rack.
Steve, got to get out and run. Great outlet from Ronnie Harrell. Foster, just a couple of dribbles, under control. Kyrie Thomas, the easy deuce. Creighton up by 12.
Creighton beginning to play more like the Blue Jays outfit we expected to see at the start of this game. They've opened up a 12-point lead on Loyola.
Yeah, Justin Patton's really gotten off to a hot start. Started with the 1 dribble jump shot to get him going, but where he's at his best is rolling to the basket. Good little pick and roll from Kyrie Thomas, finding Patton for the flush. And then you always got to get out in the open floor if you're Creighton. Foster, just a good job of pushing it with his head up to find a teammate. And Creighton, 6 of 8 from the floor to start this second half.
6 of 8. Wow. Great shooting from the floor. Fives at the free throw line. Drops his first.
It's always frustrating when you start a season and you feel like you have your rotation set, and then a key cog, and Zach Hansen goes down and can disrupt that rotation. It's a good set there to try and throw the ball into the post, but that's typically a play they like to run for Zach Hansen. It's a little more powerful in the block, but Patton does a good enough job to at least draw the foul posting up.
Cam Gregory picked up his 3rd personal foul. Watson back in, playing with 3 fouls, and Patton with a great spin move and score.
Are you kidding me? So he's shown you the 1 dribble jump shot to the left, and then there the little spin all the way to the basket. You see his long last step that he took, we're able to get to the basket. That's so impressive.
Gregory, pretty move and strong to the basket.
Good job to use the shot fake.
Maurice Watson comes down at the other end and drops in a nice 10-footer. Creighton back up by 12.
Just can't relax for a second, even off of a made basket. Creighton is screaming right back at you.
Great block. Watson. How about that pass to Thomas, who cannot finish, but a foul will be called.
Well, it is just so impressive to watch Maurice Watson in the open floor, because it's almost like he's got eyes in the back of his head. And he's always understands where people are at on the floor. Starts with a great block from Kyrie Thomas, but how about the quick outlet then from Pat? So right to Maurice Watson, and they're off to the races. And understanding where you can move to create passing angles and creating the rim run from Kyrie Thomas. Just beautiful basketball.
Yeah, I thought for sure Watson was going to go right corner, but then all of a sudden the defender got in his lane and he waited for Thomas.
It's something that we can't quite obviously hear is oftentimes as a player, you're yelling at Maurice Watson. If you're Kyrie Thomas, you're yelling, trailing, 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 so you can understand where you have to get to the floor to create that opportunity. So there could have been some good communication taking place on the floor as well.
Crumple picks it up, has his shot blocked. And then Harrell with the steal, ahead to Thomas. Kyrie will score.
Kyrie Thomas has done a good job of just running the floor, just running hard baseline to baseline, and he's landed into some easy layups.
Now the crowd getting involved as Creighton has opened up a 15-point lead. Walker well defended. Fives with the fade, and James will score.
Loyola's just got to take a deep breath, settle in.
I'll tell you, Martin Crumple, quality minutes this afternoon.
No doubt. Great post up. Just an easy post entry. It's just Creighton's transition game has really come alive in the second half.
The challenge for Crumple, he's really playing his minutes now because he missed much of last year with that knee injury.
So it's going to be an adjustment period for him to just get comfortable.
Watson again. Goes off the turnover. Gives it to streaky Rodney Harrell right down the middle.
Harrell's the more athletic of the four men. And when he's on the floor, Creighton's transition game goes up to a whole different level. This is a pretty athletic group on the floor with Watson and Foster and Harrell and Thomas. Creighton's transition game. See, pushing it ahead, and Crumple doing a good job of getting his man sealed up the floor. Easy basket for him, and then you get the turnover. Watch Maurice Watson, just the timing waiting. You're going to find Harrell cutting to the basket because Foster draws the defender. But Watson has just made it look easy in transition.
He has 4 assists, leading the nation at 9.2, and they're shooting this half. The Creighton Bluejays on fire at 79%. They shot just 37% in the first half.
So much of that's just pace and getting in the open floor where Creighton is at their best.
Clement back in at the point. Watson will get a break. Crumple fed it to Thomas, who couldn't handle it. Walker. Oh, that is a good-looking shot with the left hand by Andre. Tell you, I love this kid from Slovenia coming alive when they needed him.
That's the beauty of depth, where you just got the next man up, and Crumple has really answered the bell here this afternoon. You couldn't have asked for a better game if you're Greg McDermott. You needed a guy to kind of develop some confidence.
Particularly with Zach Hansen, gone for 8 to 12 weeks with the injured ankle, and maybe for the season. Crumple really putting in quality time. 55-38, Creighton beginning to pull away from Loyola, and here is Greg McDermott at the break.
Keep staying, get to the corners. And Teeny and Justin running. It's creating all kinds of good stuff for us. All right? We get that deep post ISO for Justin or Teeny, we got to take that. All right? And then just take your time and score. All right? Don't be in a hurry.
And Greg McDermott just talking about making sure that the guards run to the corner to create space in the post for Justin Patton and Martine Crumple. And when it's available for one-on-one post-up opportunities, you got to throw the ball inside. Between Crumple and Patton, they're 8 of 9 from the floor. So just that's another extension of your transition game thrown into the post.
Really likes the way Patton and Crumple have been running the floor as well as their big man. Very athletic. Watson swings it left. And then he said, be patient. They almost were able to get that beautifully executed lob, but the pass a little bit too high for Marcus Foster.
So, the little 2-3 zone, Loyola had to come out with something different as Creighton's been in great rhythm in this half offensively.
They're going to say it's out of bounds to the Blue Jays, leading by 17, so G.G. Smith will go to his bench and bring in Nick Gorski, who had some solid minutes in the first half.
So G.G. Smith trying to just change the complexion of this game. A little three-quarter court press now. We'll fall back into this 2-3 zone once again just to disrupt the rhythm and flow.
Alley-oop Patton.
It's a great look from Ronnie Harrell. Just high post, short corner, basic zone offense. And boy, Patton will make any lob look good. You just throw it in the vicinity of the rim and he'll go get it.
He's 5 for 5 with 11 points. There's the double. Did a great job on Jones in the second half after he was matched up and took advantage of the mistakes defensively by Creighton.
Just a much better attention to detail for Creighton defensively. They've, outside of the one rotation they've made a mistake on, they've been pretty good double teaming and rotating out of it on Jones. I still like going to him though. I like getting the ball to Jones and letting him go to work.
Just 4 seconds left in the shot clock, and then Jones with the behind-the-back pass, but they forgot how much time was left. And a mistake by Austin Harriet. He had an open jump shot with the clock down to 2 and decided to pass it.
I don't know how you make that mistake. You always have to have awareness of the shot clock situation, and as a player, it's kind of nothing better when you get the ball and making the clock. It's an excuse to shoot a bad shot. You know, you just can tell the coach the shot clock was going down.
And that comes from a basketball player who never made a mistake in his high school and collegiate career.
Never, never.
Justin Patton is now 6 of 6 from the floor, and that's a career-high 13 points.
Well, there's a reason, Steve, there's been some NBA scouts coming to watch Patton, even as a redshirt freshman.
Steal by Watson. Ahead to Patton. Another slam. He was a star at Omaha North, but really has blossomed in the last 3 years. Rebound Harrell. Harrell, tough miss. Whips it to a teammate. Foster misses the 3. Gorski to Fives, but a foul, and Fives will be at the free throw line for 2 shots.
I really like what Ronnie Harrell's done in limited minutes. I think he's just provided energy and provided an extra rebounder that Creighton has needed.
And this is perfect for his style offensively, but how will he match up in the Big East Conference once they get to conference play against some of the bigs at Xavier and Villanova and Providence and Seton Hall?
Yeah, I think that's the chief concern for the coaching staff right now for Creighton. That was already a concern, and you lost your your physical presence in Zach Hansen. And so guys like Ronnie Harrell and Cole Huff and Toby Hagner and Justin Patton, they're more finesse guys than they are physical bruisers. And you alluded to, kind of the MO of the Big East, very physical league. And so they have to certainly continue to work on that. I think they're going to be a team that's going to continue to track the post, because that kind of can mask some of your post defensive deficiencies. So Creighton's going to have to make sure they get their rotations on point coming out of those doubles.
Here comes Marcus Foster. Wow, boy, he had liftoff on that one. Goodness. They're enjoying it on the sideline. Oh, man.
You just have seen the level of athlete, how much it's been increased this year for Creighton with Patton and Marcus Foster.
Davion Mintz, the new point guard. Patton bangs inside, and a personal foul will be called. And is that against Patton? Their show is third. They call an offensive.
Man, Foster.
That was impressive.
That's 2-foot jump stop, top floor. That's difficult. Transition. Look at this. 2-foot jump stop in traffic. Marcus Foster. And the bench can't believe it. Can't believe their eyes.
Watch this right here. Oh, we missed it. Kobe Parrs fainted into the arms of a teammate. But this is more like the Creighton basketball the Blue Jay fans have been seeing lately. Shot blocked by Patton. I mean, they absolutely destroyed North Carolina State by 18 points, scoring 112 against the Wolfpack, and beat number 9 Wisconsin by 12 here. And apparently this place was rocking.
It was an incredible atmosphere here. But Steve, this is going to be great film for Greg McDermott show his guys, because they're going to see the first half possessions and the second half possessions, and it's going to be glaring, the difference in energy, the attention to detail. And really that's the only thing that's changed, is just the energy level has manufactured a lot of these open floor opportunities for Creighton.
They scored 30 points in the first 20 minutes of the ball game. They've scored 33 in the first 12 minutes of the second half. Parrs now in the game. Hagner bangs it in. Have you seen that from him in the past?
He's usually a three-point shooter, but he's got a little jump hook now. Great play from Hagner.
Counter the basket by Toby Hagner. The foul ball on number 5.
Creighton pulling away. Yeah, they're happy on the Blue Jay sideline. Hold that, man. Keep profaning.
Welcome back to Omaha. Creighton rolling here at the CenturyLink Center. Well, the best player that probably doesn't get talked about enough is Justin Patton, 7-foot redshirt freshman, able to put it on the deck and go all the way to the basket. But this is where he's been special, being able to throw it up to the rim for Patton to go get it. And he has been so good. He's been igniting his teammates on the bench. 17 points, 7 for 7 from the floor. Patton's been fantastic.
So it's a 26-point lead for the Creighton Blue Jays at CenturyLink Center in Omaha, Nebraska. Steve Physiak, Nick Baugh with you.
Really important minutes for number 1 Davion Mintz in white. Freshman point guard, need to continue to develop depth in the backcourt. A guy that Creighton staff's really excited about, just needs to get comfortable in the game.
Walker got it down low, and that's the man, Kevon Scott, who's playing with 4 fouls, and he was able to power it up and in. Wow. 8 for 8.
He loves that, doesn't he, Steve? He's done that earlier where he'll kind of look to the middle of the floor and quick spin baseline, see if he can catch you snoozing.
Yeah, we're going to have to update his season numbers, because he came into this game shooting 72% from the floor, and he hasn't missed today.
Right back to him.
Paris, the shot that misses by about a foot and a half, but Creighton will wind up with an opportunity for more at the free throw line as Toby Hegner, the junior from Berlin, Wisconsin, in there for a couple of shots.
Bluejays are in the bonus.
I think the front line for Creighton, it's been a testament to staying mentally engaged. This is a guy, Hegner, that was playing the scout team before the Wisconsin game. Got an opportunity, has played well, and has really etched himself into the rotation. Then you have an injury to Zach Hansen. Now Martin Krompel has seen some more extended minutes. So all the players right now that maybe aren't in the rotation, it's only Thanksgiving. I mean, there's still an eternity left in the season. There are a lot of things that can happen. And you just got to make sure you're continuing to prepare, because when your opportunity presents itself, you got to be ready to play like Hegner was against Wisconsin.
Because the Big East Conference again is loaded, including the defending national champion Villanova Wildcats, who came into this week's play number 2 in the nation. There's a steal by Hegner. Tyree Thomas getting the screen from Martin Krompel. Here's another young man. We were talking about, losing Zach Hansen in the front line mix. Corey Paris was a star in the Philippines. Tremendous athlete. But what does he still need to do to see more playing time?
Just the mental aspect of the game. He's got to be able to earn the coach's trust to be able to go and execute a defensive game plan. And I think a lot of freshmen struggle with this. Kobe Paris is a guy that needs to assimilate into playing a role. A lot of guys are only used to being the man, getting a bunch of shots up. Paris is going to be a guy that, could see 10, 12 minutes a game ultimately, but they're going to be short spurts where he's got to make sure that he doesn't shot hunt, that he lets the game come to him. But he is, for a freshman, got a good-looking body, good-looking frame. So I think he's physically ready. It's just the mental aspect of things.
Another steal by Toby Hegner, his second in the last 30 seconds. Clement got hammered. This is a young man, out of Thomas Aquinas in Kansas City. Really impressive. He's in the business school. He helps in the marketing office, a 4.0 GPA. Tyler will be at the free throw line, but what a future. He's going to be running the company, maybe yours in a few years.
Yeah. He's a guy that you better start buddying up with, because he's going to be a big-time decision maker ultimately. And he's got a high-level maturity about him that right now he's been the primary backup point guard, but he's still running the scout team. So he understands the importance of giving the starters a good look. So he can handle learning a team sets and knowing what Creighton has to do as well. That's a lot to put on somebody's plate.
Jones with the fade, got it.
I'm surprised they haven't really taken a little bit more in that mid-post area. I think he could have a lot of success there.
5 minutes to go here in Omaha, Nebraska, as the Creighton Blue Jays trying to go 6-0 on the season. Krompel with the miss outside. And the Blue Jays, as a matter of fact, have gone 5-0 for the 5th time in the last 6 years. Nice drive again by Jaron Jones.
The foul's on number 32, Toby Hegner, his first.
Jones is going to give people issues in the Patriot League. I mean, 6'8" from the 4 spot to be able to put it on the deck, one dribble all the way to the basket and draw a foul. He's got terrific versatility.
The Patriot League, Lehigh might be the class of the conference with 2-time Conference Player of the Year Tim Kempton, Ron Ross, But Tim Kempton, whose dad played in the NBA for about a decade, and his son has really played well and expected to lead Lehigh to the Patriot League, but Loyola should be a challenger in that conference as well, particularly with the combination of Jones and Walker.
Inside-out combination of those two guys, pretty good.
We have a blocking foul called on the Creighton Bluejays.
Creighton foul number 15, Martin Crumple. That's his second personal foul. Team's 10. Loyola into the double bonus.
I bet if there was one guy that Greg McDermott really wanted to have a good game, it was probably Crumple. Understanding the situation with Zach Hansen, and it's good to see that he was able to go out there and play well. Didn't do anything spectacular, just was solid.
Yeah, they've got two bigs who really run the floor well. I don't include Ronnie Harrell in that mix because Ronnie was a point guard at 6'7" in Denver, Colorado high school.
Yeah, the injury's important, Steve, and it's a big factor, but with Zach Hansen. But Creighton's still, they didn't lose the essence of who they are, and that's speed and athleticism and playing fast. So it's important.
Turnover by Jenkins, national champions from a year ago. Great last second shot. They executed well, got the shot they wanted, but do not score. And here comes Davion Mintz the other way, the freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina. Remains the point. Crumple on the drive. Got it.
Just enough strength to get through the contact, get it on the rim. And biting on the shot fake from beyond the arc, as Crumple's a guy that will take and make some threes, but you'd much rather have him taking the threes than the shots right at the rim.
Fourth foul on Gregory.
I think this is the end of the floor that Greg McDermott wants to see more from Mintz. He's good on the ball, but just understanding how to rotate, execute a defensive game plan, that's what's going to lead to more opportunities for Davion Mintz.
A travel on Cam Gregory, a 6'8" junior from Waldorf, Maryland. His father played at Lehigh, at the school that's expected to win the Patriot League this year. He heads to the sideline. Creighton led at the break, but only by 5 points, 30-25, and they turned things around in the second half, both offensively and defensively. Ronnie Harrell.
Offensive foul from Loyola. Gorski pushing off Harrell.
Fans make some noise at three-pointer by Ronnie Harrell. Good for Don Pollard's pizza for season ticket holders.
Fans excited whenever Creighton gets over 75 points. All the season ticket holders get free pizza. So
Pretty soon it better be over 95 points.
I was going to say 75. That's kind of a slow night for Creighton.
They're averaging 96 points per game. That's 12th most in the NCAA Division I college basketball. And there's another strong drive by Ronnie Harrell. And this is a guy who was slow in the first 5 games this year, but he really excited a lot of coaches on the Creighton staff in the fall practices.
Yeah, he was a guy that I think was would have been definitely in the rotation to start the year, but I think just Hegner started playing at such a high clip that he kind of just found himself on the outside looking in. But with the injury situation, I think Harrell's going to see a little bit more time. And I think he's going to be a valuable piece as this season progresses. So this is good that he's gotten some baskets to go down so he can feel good about himself and feel comfortable and comfortable.
Harrell now with 7 points. That shot blocked immediately.
The athletic block for the point guard in Vince.
Rumpel almost lost it and then does out of bounds, but last touched by Loyola. Creighton by 30. Harrell inside, and that is a nice layup by Kobe Paris, a freshman from Manila in the Philippines.
Crowd favorite, Paris. Athletic freshman, they love him here.
Champion with his first basket of the afternoon. Loyola. Davion Mintz comes right back with a 2, and Creighton goes up by 32 with 43 seconds left.
I think Mintz's game offensively is ready to go. He can really score.
Gorski hooks it in. Well, Loyola with a very impressive first 20 minutes. But the second half much different. I believe the young Blue Jays listened to what Greg McDermott had to say, because they came out and scored 6 points in the first 67 seconds in impressive fashion, and they have never looked back.
Quite a different looking second half for the Blue Jays.
The number 12 team in the nation is now 6-0. And they may be number 1 in the RPI, as Xavier had moved in front of them after the Musketeers' victory over Northern Iowa today, but we'll find out tomorrow morning. But a long way to go in this 2016-17 season.
Boy, a really good second half for Creighton. If you'd have watched this first half, you would have thought that Creighton was half asleep, and they woke up big time. It was just simply an adjustment of energy. And when Creighton gets in the open floor, that's where they're at their best. They're able to get some easy ones to start the second half and didn't look back. I thought Patton was fantastic. He finishes with 17 points, 8 of 8 from the floor. And his spark in the first 10 minutes of the second half was the difference in this game.
Another W for the Blue Jays. They're a perfect 6 for 6. The Big East Conference mighty strong this year. We'll be right back.